Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with some World of Warships Legends shenanigans. We are jumping right into a couple of games in the ship that is out there for rent, the Navarin, right? If I'm saying that correctly, that's got to be close, right? We get a nice broadside shot on the Des Moines here to finish him off, to kind of jump ourselves into this one. I think my downfall here was there's quite a few destroyers in this match, and early on we lose a lot of our own destroyers, right? So we don't end up winning this one. We do well ourselves, but you can see just by looking at the mini-map as well as the amount of destroyers left on the enemy team that there's quite a challenge that has been presented to us in this particular instance, right? So I do have a couple other games that I'm actually going to take some couple of clips from, just because we had some like fun moments, and then it's one of those things where like I have like, hey, this was a good game, we won, but it was just kind of like boring to watch, right? So like I'm putting the more interesting games and moments out there to kind of highlight the ship. I do like it a lot. I think it's a Soviet, it's a Russian ship that you can actually do a secondary battery build with, which I don't think I've done secondary battery builds with any of my Soviet ships, so yeah, that's kind of a first, at least for me. If I've tried it in the past, I've changed it because I didn't like it, right? And then the other highlight for this one, for sure, is the both of the turrets on the back can turn 360 degrees, which makes a huge difference if you're pressing in, which is really nice if you've got, that sort of brawler build built into it, right? So kind of lots of pros there. It is pretty easy to get Citadel hits against you, right? People can do pretty big chunky damage to you, especially if you are pushing in like this, like we're doing here. In order to get those rear turrets on target, you kind of got to open up a decent amount of angle for the enemy, so you got to just keep that in mind. What you're pointing at, right, might be able to do more damage to you than you can do to them in some of those instances. Got one more Italian battleship out here sitting in his smoke screen. We get picked up once it dissipates here, so we'll take our shot at him. He is backing up, and then yeah, he's in range of our secondaries. I think we got these up to 10.7 kilometers the way I have it built out, and with how much I've been able to upgrade the commanders and such. So we're getting hits on him here, and we use our secondary battery booster right off the bat here. And yeah, like they work great. Like they're going to town. We're like getting a lot of damage on him there just because he's bow into us, but we do trigger the fire there. And then we'll try and turn in a little bit towards his salvo there. That helped us out quite a bit. But yeah, like I was saying, like you could see there, we had to turn back out a little bit to get both of the rear turrets on target there for him. But what I just love this, and this was like this with the Colombo too, like you could push in on somebody, change directions, and shoot from the other side of your ship just as quickly as you could shoot from the the previous side that you shot from, right? So like I love the 360 turrets in the back. That's a huge bonus, because now we're able to press in towards the zone. But yeah, as you can see, I think we finished this guy off, and then it's pretty much destroyer hunting at this point for this game, right? So we get up there in that 100,000 damage dealt range, and then yeah, we've got there ends up being 2 destroyers here at this base, and then one of them's already about to go in and capture our zone. So we actually lose that match based on just the capture there. They end up capturing the base. So the rest of that game was kind of boring. It was me trying to chase destroyers through their smoke screens and then them capturing the base, right? Here, very quick, this game here, I'm being aggressive here, and that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? But we do get within range of our secondary batteries here. There is a destroyer over here on this side that I was kind of having to deal with, and then one last one, this Ostergotland, over in the C cap too, that I tried really hard. Like our secondaries hit over there, right? Like they're firing at him, but I wasn't quite gonna be able to get the main batteries off. And then this Temeraire, he didn't want to play anymore, so he's coming out complete flat broadside. He has most of his health, and we're gonna say goodnight to him. Thanks for playing. Boosh, dev strike there. That's the entertainment value for that game. I can't remember if we ended up winning that one or not. I couldn't remember, but yeah. So anyway, so here we'll do at least the vast majority of a full game here. Oh no, wait, actually one more example here before I go into you know, like kind of like my best game, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we're getting decent secondary hits on this Carl Johan here that came out wide. He, you know, pressed in because he's got a secondary batter build and has torpedoes and stuff, right? But we kind of were able to overpower him, and we had some teammates that went out wide and did a good job creating a flank. The only problem there is now they're way off to the side of the map, and, you know, I'm going to be the punching bag yet again here for this particular match. But yeah, like I can't get out here fast enough. We've got, you know, 2 cruisers here that probably aren't expecting us to be able to lay waste to them, and we're just moving kind of slow. I think there's a mines, and then I think it was another, like a Soviet ship, like Kronstadt or something, that comes out here, and he books it and just makes a run for it. But yeah, so he's even turning in, and I think the second he sees us, he starts turning back out. So we get a decent chunk on him. And then I'm trying to turn away because I don't want to take hits from the... Oh, it's a Petro, right? So I'm trying to turn away because I know there's the battleship out there and this Petro. And so I tried to get turned away so that we didn't give up too much angle. And then, of course, we bump into our allied ship here, so I'm sure I'm annoying him. And then Awami, I'm just trying to eye up who's giving us the better angle, but Awami's pretty well angled there. He's probably sending torpedoes, as Awamis have 15-kilometer range torpedoes that hit pretty hard, so I'm guessing that's what he's doing. And then, yeah, we get a little bit off the Petro, right, but not enough to make me happy, right? I did jump partway through this game. You can see we did get the zone captured at A, right? I kind of like tried to grab the moments that were more exciting, right? And so... but we are going to fully demonstrate the full capacity of will to rebuild in this game, guys. So this is why I know a lot of other people don't like will to rebuild. They don't pick it very often, right? But like it's just gonna be awesome for us in this game, right? Because we've got allies with us. They all seem to want to move in the same direction. And honestly, like when this does happen, you know, I sort of like end up following somebody else around anyway, you know, like I'm like, all right, I need will to rebuild the rest of this game. I'm going wherever you go, right? So yeah, there's the torpedoes from the Awami. And then yeah, this Petro and I think the Awami too, like they seem to try and pick on me here for a little bit. I think we're gonna end up losing this cruiser, so they're gonna try and take the cruiser out first just because it's a, you know, low health cruiser. But we got 2 battleships here with us, and I'm gonna hold off using the heal, because we can get, as we get that will to rebuild, it even increases the amount of heal that will happen too. So if you time it right, like let your will to rebuild max out up to that 20% health, and then use your heal. And if you still got somebody by you, you know, you could even still save that heal as well. I think that's another thing to call out. There's another positive with this ship. The heals are pretty good. So I think I played with, you know, with the commander build on this. I think I started out using, you know, on that last row, I think I was using Porcupine or Properly Meticulous instead of Master Mechanic for the commander build, and I end up changing it over to Master Mechanic just because I was noticing how valuable the heals were. So I think in this game I've got Properly Meticulous on the commander build, and then next game we'll do Master Mechanic to get the extra heal. I don't have this commander very, you know, I don't have it all the way upgraded, right? So Master Mechanic gets you, if you've got it upgraded enough, it gets you 2 extra heals, which would be really big for this build, right? So trying to get some decent angle on the Awami, and like I said, you've got to open yourself up a little bit. So then we start turning back in here as soon as we think he's going to fire at us. I'm also trying to get closer to the battleship to our right as well, because I would kind of got, you know, this constellation here outran us a little bit here, so we're not in the will to rebuild range anymore. So we're getting a little low on health, right? But he looks like he's just going to keep pressing out, so I'm going to follow the constellation again, see if I can't catch up to him and get that will to rebuild. And since we're not spotted anymore, right, I'll hold off using the heal as long as I can and see if we can't get back into will to rebuild range before we, and see how much that'll bring back for us before we consider using the heal, right? See if we can't get in here with the helping the zone cap too. Yeah, speed on this ship isn't the greatest, but I wouldn't say it's bad. Like, we're doing decent, right? For what else we get, right? The trade-offs are worth it. Like these great secondaries, 360 turrets in the back, and then, you know, decent main battery guns too, right? Like, this is good. This is a fun ship. Alright, we'll see if we can get into the zone, and then hopefully this constellation slows down a little bit. We are getting, you know, I gotta give it, this game is probably owed to this destroyer player up by zone B. So, you know, the enemy destroyer is obviously in the B cap, capping the zone, and our destroyer player is up, he's up there by himself, pretty much him versus those 3 ships. While me and these other 2 battleships seem to be chasing down this Petro that's running away, right? So, me and the Constellation turn in to try and go and help out. I think that's the smart move to do. But I was very surprised and impressed that the 3-on-1 situation up by Zone B worked out for us. So yeah, he gets the Jutland kills off the small end, right? So we don't have to worry about destroyers anymore. And then he's just got 2 battleships up there, so ideally you just don't get spotted, right? Stay far enough away, send your torpedoes, right? But yeah, this Roma, like full health Roma here. And then Petro, and I'm so close to getting will to rebuild back from this constellation, so I'm going to hold off firing our guns so that we don't get spotted unless you know, he comes within our guaranteed spotting range here. I'm like so close. I'm like, we need to get within 2. Yep, there we go. So there we get will to rebuild. We're spotted anyway, so I'm going to fire. And we'll see who he fires at. I'm just like, it's like, he's like nice and broadside. Oh yeah, we did get a good salvo there. I was like concerned that he starts turning away and we weren't going to get much out of him, but we do get a good chunk there. So now it's like, hopefully somebody finishes him off. And then I really want to turn away, but at the same time, that's going to put us at a little bit of a risk here. But thankfully, he is shooting HE. So we'll take advantage of the HE that he's shooting at us. And like I said, now we're back within will to rebuild range, so we got our health coming back up. So we've managed to save this one last heal, and we're getting a ton out of it. We're getting so much out of this will to rebuild. And then if we keep pressing in here, we might get a decent shot on the Roma. So that's what we're going to go for. We are up to 120,000 damage now. And then, yeah, he is sailing nice and straight and broadside for us and doesn't really know that we're here either. So we'll take that action. And we're at 120 damage now. 2 citadels. That puts us up over 150, so about 30,000 damage done there. And we also pop high caliber. Alright, and we are up on points, right? So we do not need to press in and be aggressive here. So I'm slowing down. I've got it full reverse, and yeah, my buddy's telling me, and my teammates are telling me to get back anyway, right? But I'm like, well, if I can stay by him and maintain this will to rebuild, plus between that and our heal, like, we might be able to still get our damage numbers up, right? We might be able to still do some work in this game here, right? So Ruprecht is here. We're able to get a freebie shot on him there. And he, of course, turned in, and our shot was kind of bad to start with. So we do 0 damage. Because everything missed. But yeah, secondaries are now triggering here. You know, you don't get a lot of arch with these, with the main battery or the secondaries, right? They fire pretty... They're pretty straight shooters, right? So you don't get it's hard to fire from cover with this ship. And he's going to shoot at us. You know, this is what I was kind of getting at, right? He gets a good chunk of damage out of us there. And that's exactly what I was saying about how, you know, in order to get those rear turrets off, you've got to open yourself up you know, you've got your angle's going to be bad, right? So keep that in mind. I jumped ahead in this game here just to see the end here, because this is basically what happens is the Constellation finishes off the Ruprecht, and then we run out of time there, and then just that way we can skip ahead here, see where we end up on the leaderboard, and then we'll go into one more example here at the end here that I think was a pretty good game as well. But yeah, 161,000 damage there. And then we did get the top spot with 2,600 XP, so nothing crazy, but we did get the top spot. And then so we'll jump right into when the action starts in this last game here. And again, I'm being a little bit aggressive, right? Like this is, yeah, we spawned off to the left over by C here. But, you know, Schlieffen's looking at somebody else, so I took advantage of that, and he's nice and broadside to us here. And then, you know, I kind of like, you know, lessons learned from previous matches, right? Like I'm going to try and turn away instead of press into him. This way I can get these two, you know, we can angle a little bit better and get the two rear turrets off and not give up too much angle. And then, yeah, he's within secondary battery range. He's within that 10.7 that we have built here. And then, yeah, you can see we also have 4 heals, right? So I switched, this game I had switched to Master Mechanic for the extra heals just because I noticed, like, how good the heals were. I think if the, you know, like, you know, I played something like the German, you know, battleships where I've got brawler builds. Some of those I prefer to have the better boost to the secondary batteries over the extra heals. Just because the heals are, you know, they're kind of mediocre, right? But here, yeah, we get the first blood on there. He had the fire going on him. But here, like, the heals seemed pretty powerful, so I was like, all right, I'm going to switch to Master Mechanic and see if that works out better for us, and I think that's probably the way to go here. So we're going to take torpedo hits from the destroyer that snuck up on us here. Like, we knew he was there, right? But, like, yeah. So I'll use damage con that, and we'll use a heal, and you can see, like, it doesn't, you know, after that, it doesn't look that bad, right? But it's a Yogomo, right? Those are pretty hefty torpedoes, and he makes the mistake of coming out of his smoke screen. I'm not sure why, but these secondaries just take all of his health, almost from full to nothing, to the point where I was like, am I even going to have to shoot my main guns at him? Like, they're doing so good here. But yeah, big mistake on his part coming out of that smoke and giving up his position like that. I'm not sure if that was intentional or if he had some other reason for doing that. Did somebody trip radar or something? You know, like, I wasn't sure what happened there, but we were able to take him out with secondary batteries alone on that guy. So Buffalo, we'll target him here. There's a Brisbane out there as well. That would be nice if he kept coming too. But we'll try and get back into the zone here and try and help our destroyer out. That Nevermind just went down, right? I don't want to just, like, abandon and give up the zone. Like, I kind of like playing this ship with, you know, with some, you know, aggressively, but also with some cover, right? Like, so I don't like going out in the open waters, but it seemed to be working out pretty good for me if we had some cover here and there to kind of, like, duck and weave through. But yeah, it's going to leave us a little bit vulnerable to the destroyer wherever he's at, and I'm sure that's what's picking us up right now at this point. Yep, there he is. So, yep. Z-44. So I didn't particularly have him in mind when we kept moving and circled around, but just because of our movements, we were able to dodge his torpedoes. I always say that the trick to dodging torpedoes is to start dodging them before you see them, right? So if you know a destroyer's there, you know, move appropriately, adjust course appropriately, right? Nice broadside shot on the Buffalo here. We've only got one turret ready, though. We do get a Citadel there, though, and then somebody else finished him off. Nice job, Alaska. So that puts us up to 2 kills. We're already over 100 grand in damage again in this game. Keep moving. Turn in a little bit to try and avoid that torpedo. Yep. And then if we can, I'm going to slam the brakes here, see if we can't get these guns on target here before he ducks behind the island here, but he's going to be outnumbered anyway. Yeah, that made us a little vulnerable to the Republic too by turning back in like that. We get a couple hits on him though, but hopefully our teammates can finish off that destroyer. And then, yeah, definitely don't want to be broadside to the Republic. He'll chew us apart pretty quick. So we will we'll angle appropriately and not worry about trying to get these rear guns off unless we think he's not going to have a shot on us, right? So, learned my lesson those last couple games. He'll be within secondary batteries here soon. Then it's going to be just him and this Brisbane here. It's alright, we can take our shot there. I kind of was annoyed that we got picked up there. It's got to still be the Republic, right? Like, that spotted us again. But, yeah, I started turning out, and then he shot again. Right? It's like, dang it. So, I looking at the mini-map, we've got, one battleship coming from the, the north side. So, I decided to swing back around and try and, like, create a crossfire. Come back around behind this island. They'll never suspect it, right? They saw me going the other way. But yeah, this ship, either this week or this update is available for rent, right? So don't make the mistake I did. I was like, oh, look, this ship's only 1,000 doubloons, right? That has never happened in the history of Legends. I don't think you've ever been able to get a Tier 8 premium ship for 1,000 doubloons, right? Like, normally closer to like 20,000. But it is rent. So I figured since we got it, right, we'll do some videos on it. And then I got 2 of the other ones as well that I posted games for earlier this week. And then, yeah, this Brisbane doesn't want to play anymore either, so we will take advantage of that. He's got torpedoes, right, so he's probably trying to get those off. What was frustrating there is somebody else, the Alaska, also had bullets on the way, right? So we did all that damage, and then the Alaska got the credit for the kill. But that put us up to 156,000. And then, so basically when they do rental ships like this, right, they're kind of sort of testing the ships out, right? So you get it for 7 days. So you get it for that limited time. So basically what you're doing is you're paying the game developers to test their own product for them. It's basically what's happening there. And we fell for it, right, didn't we? So, yeah. 3 kills, 157,000 damage. That does put us at the top spot for the leaderboard, so that one was better. We got over that 3,000 mark, and then walked away with about 400 grand in silver. I will show you how I built this ship out. Whether or not it's the best way to do it or not, that's up to you to decide, right? But I did go secondary battery mod here for the better range and dispersion. Propulsion mod, it's tough for me to pick anything else, on that, and then concealment here. And then I did pick secondary battery reload mod here as well. And then for the commander, I do have, this is Kedrov, right? He's a free-to-play commander. I did put Azulane Bismarck on here. And then Franz von Hipper. Franz von Hipper's free-to-play commander. He's probably a must for pretty much every secondary build for an inspiration. And then if you don't have Azulane Bismarck, right, there's a couple others out there that can buff secondaries as well, so just pick one of those guys if you don't have her, right? But then Porcupine here is kind of what you want. This is giving you that extra 12% range along with some other perks. I picked Volunteer here because that gives you the extra damage control parties. And then I picked Master Mechanic here because it gives you the either 1 or 2 extra repair parties, right? So if I had him leveled up a little bit more, we could get 2 extra repair parties. Like I said, those repairs work pretty good. So I originally started with Properly Meticulous because you get all these extra perks for secondary batteries, but just because that heal was working so good, that was a pretty hefty heal, I switched it over to Master Mechanic, and that seemed to be working out better for me. And then, of course, for legendary perks, I tend to lean towards Will to Rebuild for battleships, but I know a lot of other people like Fight Fire with Fire, to help keep you from getting fire spammed. And then, if you're doing full-on brawler, balls to the wall, right, the running with scissors is a good option for that one too, right? But yeah, I tend to lean towards Will to Rebuild. Yeah, so I'm definitely enjoying this ship. I'll quick, since it is this rental, it is a new ship, I'll quick scroll through the detailed specs, and just keep in mind all of this stuff here is with my commander and upgrade on it. So right, so this is not the base stats. These are with my my picks for commander and loadout. AA is okay. I think I did have one scenario where I had a game where a carrier was picking on me. I did end up with a clear skies, but I wouldn't say it's anything great. And then there's the rest of your stats on there. I definitely like the camo on here is really cool as well, right? Like that's fun. But yeah, fun ship. I love the rear turrets being able to turn 360. I love the secondary battery range on it. Yeah, your downfall is that you've got definitely a above the waterline citadel that's pretty easy to hit, especially if you're trying to use those rear turrets on somebody. You have to keep that in mind. You have to keep your angling in mind. But thank you everybody for watching my video all the way through. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, right? Click my face that shows up in the bottom right of the screen, and we'll see you next time.